Hello, everybody. This is Heather Longoria. I'm a therapist here at the St. John Clark Pain Treatment Center. And you may have seen some of my videos on this page before, so you can probably tell that not only am I a neurosomatic therapist, but I'm also a yoga teacher. But what you may not know is that I am also a banker. So I work part-time as a project manager for a bank out of the Quad Cities in the Midwest. And as part of my work there, I'm intimately familiar with what sitting at a desk all day long can do to your body. So often what I see in the office is people sitting in their chairs, like hunched over like this, arms at the keyboard, and then their head jutting forward. And then often people are sitting in that position for hours at a time. And I've been seeing some articles lately that talk about email apnea, which is where you're responding to emails and you get so wrapped up in it that you forget to breathe, or at least you forget to breathe deeply. And that has a bunch of physiological effects on the body. So between not breathing well, not breathing from the diaphragm down here, breathing more in the shoulders, between breathing like that and then sitting in that slouched head forward position, that can cause a lot of muscular tension in the body and also emotional tension and anxiety and stress. So for today, I'm going to share with you just a quick 10-minute yoga sequence that you can do at your desk. And I work remotely now from down here in Florida, but when I worked back in Davenport, Iowa, I would actually teach these sequences to my coworkers in the office, and they found these very beneficial to help with stress relief and to help loosen up some tight muscles. All right, so let's get started. First thing I'm going to have you do, and all of this can be done in a chair, so it's accessible to office workers, and you don't have to have any special clothing. You don't have to put on yoga pants or anything like that. Just regular office gear is fine. Okay, so I'm going to invite you to sit well in your chair, first of all. And by sitting well, I mean not in this position where you're coming into this flex position where you're like rolled in on yourself. So see if you can tune into your sit bones. And let's see, happen to have a model here, which is handy. Your sit bones are these thick, sturdy bones here on the base of your pelvis. The scientific name is ischial tuberosities. So you can impress your friends with your scientific anatomy knowledge now. So we are going to just rock your pelvis back and forth. So you come into what's called pelvic extension, and you can see when I have an extended pelvis how that rounds my spine. And then pelvic flexion, and I get that nice little lumbar curve back. So rock back and forth a few times, and then see if you can settle in like a neutral position where you're not overly extended and you're not arched. So a nice neutral spine. And you want to have your feet flat on the floor, and just take your palms and rest them on the tops of your thighs. And then I invite you to close your eyes if you are comfortable with that, if you feel safe with that. If not, just kind of soften your gaze and look down on the floor in front of you. And this just helps tune out kind of the world around you and help you tune into your body. And take a deep breath in, and I want you to inhale through your nostrils and then exhale nice and slow. And then see if you can let your awareness drop all the way down to the base of your feet. So see if you can feel your right heel press into the ground, your right pinky toe, your right big toe. See if you can feel that whole connection of the base of your right foot, either resting on your shoe, or if you can kick your shoes off, even better, and feel that foot just resting on the ground. And then do the same with the left foot. So you feel your left heel kind of press into the ground a little bit, your left pinky toe, your left big toe, and then the whole bottom of that left foot. And by dropping our awareness deeper into the body, like especially to the feet and to the pelvis, that can help calm that monkey mind that's swirling around with anxious, repetitive thoughts. It helps take some of the energy from up here and drops it down into the body. So in that vein, I want you to kind of think about raising your awareness up from your feet through your knees, through your upper thighs, and then rest it in the pelvis. And again, I find I really like to close my eyes when I'm doing meditations like this because it really helps me tune into what I'm feeling in my body. So if you kind of shift your weight so you're pressing your right sit bone into the chair, and then press your weight so you're shifting your weight into your left sit bone, and then come back to center. And maybe do just a few more gentle little tilts with your pelvis. So you're tilting back, so you're like your sit bone or your tailbone's coming a little bit closer to the chair. And then you tilt forward so your pubic bone is coming a little bit closer to the chair. And then settling back to neutral. And then with your next inhale, think about energy getting drawn up from the base of the spine, all the way from the coccyx, all the way up through your pelvis, through your lumbar spine, through your thoracic spine, all the way through your cervical spine, your neck, all the way through the crown of the head. So it's like that with that inhale, somebody's taking a string and just making you taller and decompressing your whole spine. And then as you exhale, see if you can soften any tension that you're feeling in your body. And we'll do that again. So as you inhale, again, you're feeling that elongation all the way through the spine, making your back taller, your spine taller, your neck taller, and the crown of your head is getting nice and tall and pointing towards the ceiling. And then the exhalation brings that relaxation and that release of tension. And we have a tendency when we're working at office jobs to develop a lot of tension in our neck and our shoulders. So this meditation or this short yoga practice is going to focus more on releasing tension in that upper part of our body. So we're going to do a little check-in first. And I just want you to rotate your head to the left and close your eyes. Notice any sensation of tension, tightness, pulling. And then come back to center, and then rotate all the way to the right, noticing any change in one side to the other. Again, feeling any sense of tension, tightness, pulling. And then come back to center. So what we're going to do is just some very gentle movements to loosen up the joints and get the synovial fluid flowing, and to get more motion and mobility into these joints that get locked in a certain position for a long period of time. So the first thing you're going to do is pretend like you have a pencil attached right to the tip of your nose, and then you're going to draw little circles with that pencil. So you're just going to be rotating your head around in these tiny little circles, and we're going to go clockwise first. And you may notice as you go through these tiny circles that you have some skips or some jumps where that motion is a little restricted. And if you do encounter a jump, you can kind of deepen that groove, or like it's kind of like the squeaky drawer scenario where if you can't get a drawer out, you kind of have to push and pull and loosen it up before you can pull it out again. So we're kind of doing that to our body to release some tension. And then go ahead and reverse that motion. So you're rotating your nose. Let's see, this is counterclockwise directions now. So just some very gentle movements there. All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drop our right ear to our right shoulder. And again, as with all yoga practices, you need to be mindful of what's going on in your body and how you're feeling today, what feels good, what doesn't feel good, and then modify your behavior accordingly. So we're going to take right ear to right shoulder, and just gently, you're not going to like crank it down and try to force it. You're just going to like drop that ear to your shoulder, let gravity kind of take your head down, and notice if you're feeling some pull there along the lateral edge of your left side. And then you can even drop that left arm down, and like me, I have some tension here that I need to get worked out. So that will increase the stretch a little bit, and you can stretch your arm down to the side of your chair and externally and internally rotate your arm. So basically you're just pivoting your arm and your shoulder socket. And then you'll find if you drop your head down so that your eyes are looking down towards the floor, that's going to change where you feel that stretch a little bit. And again, we're just trying to drop our awareness into that tension and even sending the breath into wherever we feel tightness, and see if you can consciously encourage your body to let go of some of that tension with your exhalation. And then bring the palm back up, bring your head back to center and kind of reset yourself. And then we're going to drop left ear to shoulder. And you might notice one side's tighter than the other. So this side, I'm not able to have as much lateral flexion here. So just an interesting observation that I will want to tell my therapist for my treatment on Monday. So I'm going to drop my right hand down to the side. Again, noticing I'm feeling a lot of tension here in like the upper trapezius area. So I'm going to actually think about breathing in right here. And then as I exhale, I'm going to think about my tissues lengthening and letting go. And just with that awareness, I got a little bit of relaxation there. And then again, with that arm outstretched, you can pivot that arm joint in a socket and just be super curious about what you're feeling. And then you can drop your head down so that your eyes are looking down towards your left side. This brings a stretch back into the posterior side or the back of the neck a little bit more. And then we're going to bring that back up to center too. And we're going to do a little release for the front of the neck, which gets tight when we're looking down at computers all day. So what you're going to do is use your fingers to grab the edge of your cheek here. So this is your mandibles where we're attaching here. And you're going to just drag your finger. So you're looking to the right, I should mention that. And you're just going to drag your fingers down gently along the front of the throat, like you're pulling your skin down and you're tacking it to your collarbone or your clavicle in anatomy speak. And then you're going to rotate even further to the right. See if you get a good stretch there. And you might need to reset, come back to center, and try it a different way too. You might get more of a stretch this way. If you take the edge of your hand, okay, we'll start here, take the edge of the hand, pull that skin down, tack it, and then stretch away. There we go. I'm getting a slightly better stretch there. And you can look up a little bit. We'll change the stretch. Look down. Come back to center. We'll do that on the other side. So we're going to use our left hand on that right mandible. And again, just pulling that muscle down. This is called your platysma. And tacking that to your collarbone. And then twisting away, looking up, breathing into any tension or tightness. And then we can come back around to center. And we're going to move our awareness down to our shoulders a little bit. So if you're like me, when I am working really hard and getting really engrossed in my work, or if I'm just having a stressful day where nothing is going right, all of that tension hikes up my shoulders and it all like gets enveloped in my upper trapezius. So we're just going to release this with some very gentle shoulder rolls. So start out small. And again, notice, just drop your awareness into the actual shoulder joint if you can. And notice where you're feeling any tightness. Maybe going a little bit slower through that tightness so you have a chance to exhale and let that go. And then we're going to reverse and bring those shoulders back up again. And then lastly, let me see here. Yep, we're getting at about the 15-minute mark, so I need to, we'll need to close this down so that you can get back to work. But we're gonna reach our right arm up, and then you're gonna take your, reach your left arm up. You're gonna take your right hand and you're gonna grab your wrist. And I realize this is off the camera here, but I think you can figure out what I'm doing. So you're going to stretch that left arm nice and tall, like you're reaching towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in, And then as you exhale, kind of curve over to the right, and you're going to pull that arm and really deepen that stretch on that left side. And then reset, and then you're going to switch. You're going to grab your right hand, right wrist with your left hand. Inhale, reaching up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, and then laterally flex over to the left side, getting a nice stretch in that right side of your body. And then you can let your arms come down, and we'll do one more exercise because this one can feel really good on our tight shoulder blades. So we're going to let's reach left arm out, and then you're going to take your right arm and stack your right elbow on top of your left elbow, and then try to bring the backs of your hands together. Or if you have super long Gumby arms and are hyperflexible, you can try to do one more twirl and bring your the palms of your hands together. And then from this position, I'll show you what that looks like from the side. Let's take an inhale. So we're inhaling and getting nice and tall again in that seat, and then exhale and drop your chin towards your chest. And this can be very eye-opening if you have some tension in your back or in your shoulders in that scapular region. Again, inhaling, sending the breath into that tightness, and then exhaling and encouraging the body to relax and soften. And then we're going to untwist, and then we're going to twist the other way. So we're going to bring opposite shoulder or opposite elbow on top of opposite elbow. Let's see, there we go. I needed to retwist there. And again, we can drop our chin towards our chest, and being curious, is this configuration tighter than the other side, or do we have more mobility, more range of motion here? Just being very curious about what's going on in our bodies and making some mental notes of maybe where we need some assistance from your friendly neurosomatic therapist to help things release. All right, and then let's unwind, and we're going to reset back to that original position that we started class in. Feet flat on the floor, palms on the thighs, and then close your eyes, and then rotate your head to the left, and rotate your head to the right. And notice, do you have more cervical range of motion and rotation than you did just 10 minutes ago? So we'll close with just a little short meditation. Again, with your eyes closed, you're going to drop your awareness down into the feet. You're going to feel your right foot relax and soften down into your shoe or into the floor beneath it. You'll feel your left foot soften, sink down towards the earth. And you'll feel your right sit bone relax down into the chair, your left sit bone. Your right shoulder relaxes, your left shoulder relaxes. The front of the throat softens. The right side of the jaw relaxes. The left side of the jaw softens. That furrow right between our eyebrows, that softens as well as your eyes kind of just melt and soften and kind of become one with the rest of your head, unwinding all that tension behind our eyes. And we'll take one more deep breath in through the nostrils, and then exhale and sigh it out. And then with your next inhale, if you'd like, you can stretch your arms up overhead, bring your palms together, and draw them down to your chest. And just seal in this practice today, and seal in this knowledge and awareness we have to change the state of our bodies with our mind and with some mindfulness and some gentle, curious attention. So, namaste, which is a way of closing a meditation that means we are all one. So, we are all in this together and all part of the human family. So, just acknowledging that connection. So I want to thank you for practicing with me today, and I hope that you are able to use some of these ideas during the course of your day, or maybe even take a break over lunch or before bed and just go through this practice and help calm down your nervous system and help reset yourself for a more productive day. Hope you have a great day. Thanks, everybody. Bye.